Are you in your 60s or older, eating what you think is a healthy diet, maybe starting your day with eggs, yet noticing your arms feel weaker, your legs tire faster, or climbing stairs feels heavier than before? You might think this is just aging. But what if I told you that your muscle loss is not inevitable and that you can actually reverse it starting now? Here, SEDS. What's SEDS really going on inside your body? After 60, your muscle tissue becomes less responsive to protein. It is not that your body cannot use it, it is that your cells stop listening as efficiently. This phenomenon is called anabolic resistance. Your body still wants to build muscle, but the signal that tells your muscle cells to grow becomes muffled. Add slower digestion, lower hormone levels, and higher inflammation. And the process of muscle repair starts falling behind the process of muscle breakdown. Now, most people are told to eat more protein, often from eggs, chicken, or whey. But here is the truth: few people realize not all proteins are equal in how they stimulate muscle rebuilding, especially as we age. The difference is not just in grams of protein, it is in the amino acid profile, the digestibility, and how that protein interacts with your metabolism and gut. And here is where it gets exciting. There is one particular food more powerful than eggs that science now shows can stimulate muscle protein synthesis more effectively in older adults. It is plant-based, rich in leucine, arginine, and essential amino acids, and carries natural compounds that reduce inflammation while supporting the gut-liver axis. In other words, it feeds your muscle and heals your metabolism at the same time. When you understand this, the old idea that aging equals weakness disappears because your body is not failing, it is simply waiting for the right signal and the right fuel. Once you give it both, strength returns faster than most people believe possible. So in this session, we will explore why traditional high-protein foods like eggs might not be enough after 60, how your liver, insulin, and mitochondria determine whether you build or lose muscle, the specific food that outperforms eggs for muscle synthesis in older adults, how to eat it, when to eat it, and what to pair it with for maximum effect, the daily rhythm that keeps your muscles strong, your metabolism young, and your energy high. Because the truth is, muscle is not just about strength, it is your metabolic organ of youth. The more muscle you have, the more insulin sensitive you become, the faster your body burns fat, and the stronger your immune system stays. So stay with me. By the end of this talk, you will know exactly how to rebuild your muscle naturally without relying on powders or extreme workouts. And if this is helpful so far, tap the hype button below and consider subscribing. I share evidence-based tools like this every week. The supplements mentioned in this video are tagged for your convenience, so you can find them easily online. Let us start with a truth that surprises most people. Muscle loss after 60 is not caused by aging, it is caused by metabolic resistance. Here is what is really going on inside your body. Every muscle cell is like a small engine. It burns fuel, maintains strength, and communicates with your hormones. In your 20s or 30s, that engine runs efficiently. When you eat protein, amino acids quickly activate a key signal called M2R, which tells your body, build new muscle. But as you move past 60, that signal weakens. Think of it like trying to talk through a thick glass wall. You are saying, grow muscle, but your cells barely hear you. This is anabolic resistance. Your body still has the machinery to build muscle, but it is not responding to the usual cues anymore. Now here is where the root cause begins. When insulin sensitivity drops, often from years of stress, poor sleep, sugar spikes, or inactivity, your muscle cells stop taking in nutrients effectively. Amino acids that should go into your muscles end up circulating in the bloodstream or getting converted into glucose in the liver. Your mitochondria, which are the powerhouses of your cells, start slowing down. And when mitochondria slow, energy drops and protein synthesis stalls. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Imagine your muscles are a construction site. The amino acids are your bricks. Insulin is the delivery truck. M2R is the foreman who tells workers to start building. If the road to the site is blocked with inflammation or insulin resistance, the trucks never arrive, the workers have no materials. Construction stops. That is what happens inside your muscles when your metabolism is out of balance. Now, here is the hopeful part. You can unblock that road and wake up the foreman again. How? By restoring insulin sensitivity, lowering inflammation, and sending a stronger growth signal through nutrition and movement. Start with timing. Your first protein-rich meal of the day should come within 90 minutes of waking. At that time, your body is most responsive to amino acids. Pair it with light resistance movement, even 10 squats or a short walk to open your muscles' nutrient channels. This combination triggers a powerful rise in mTOR activity, telling your body to start building muscle tissue again. Then, make sure each meal includes about 30 grams of high-quality protein. Most people eat too little at breakfast and too much at dinner, which weakens the anabolic response. Split your protein evenly through the day to keep your muscles in a building mode for longer. What the research shows is that older adults who distribute protein intake evenly and pair it with light exercise can double their muscle protein synthesis compared to those who eat the same amount all at once. That is a huge difference, and it happens without any change in total calories. So if you are noticing weaker legs, shrinking arms, or slower recovery after exercise, remember it is not your age. It is the metabolic signal that has gone quiet. The good news is you can turn it back on naturally. If this is helpful so far, tap the hype button below and consider subscribing. I share evidence-based strategies like this every week. The supplements we are discussing in this video are tagged below, so you can find them easily in trusted online stores. Let us talk about one of the biggest myths surrounding muscle preservation after 60, the idea that eggs are the perfect protein. Eggs have long been praised as a complete protein, and yes, they do contain all 9 essential amino acids. But when it comes to building muscle in older adults, the story is more nuanced. Here is what's really going on inside your body. As we age, digestion slows and stomach acid levels drop. That means the protein from eggs, especially when cooked too firmly, takes longer to break down and absorb. Slower digestion equals weaker stimulation of the muscle-building signal mTOR. So even though you might be eating enough protein, your body is not getting the same anabolic signal it did in your younger years. Now, let me explain this with a simple analogy. Think of your muscle as a sponge. When you are young, it is soft and open, ready to soak up amino acids quickly. As you age, that sponge becomes drier and less absorbent. So, even if you pour the same amount of water or protein on it, less gets in. You do not need to pour more water. You need to rehydrate the sponge to make it responsive again. Here's where modern nutritional science brings a breakthrough insight. Researchers studying muscle preservation in older adults found that certain plant-based proteins, particularly from fermented soy, lentils, and chickpeas, stimulate muscle protein synthesis just as effectively or even more effectively than eggs when digested efficiently. Why? Because these foods have a naturally higher leucine to calorie ratio, meaning you get more of the amino acid that directly switches on mTOR. They also come packaged with antioxidants and phytonutrients that reduce inflammation, something eggs simply do not do. Even more fascinating, the fiber and prebiotics in these plant foods feed beneficial gut bacteria. A healthier gut produces short-chain fatty acids that improve insulin sensitivity and lower systemic inflammation, the very 2 factors that slow muscle growth with age. So instead of focusing only on eggs, start incorporating fermented soy, tempeh lentils, or lupin beans into your meals. A serving of tempeh or lentils not only gives you a strong amino acid profile, but also stabilizes your blood sugar and supports liver detoxification. What the latest research shows is that when older adults consume plant-based proteins combined with resistance exercise, their muscle protein synthesis improves significantly, sometimes matching the response of much younger individuals. Here is a simple daily protocol to try At least one meal per day should feature a plant-based protein such as lentils, chickpeas, or tempeh. Combine that protein with a source of healthy fat like olive oil or avocado to slow glucose spikes. Include a small portion of fermented vegetables like kimchi or sauerkraut to enhance gut absorption and reduce inflammation. And pair that meal with light resistance activity, even household chores or a short strength routine. Over time, this combination retrains your body to respond to protein again, naturally without relying on protein powders or excessive supplementation. So while eggs are still nutritious, they are not the only or even the best answer for muscle recovery in your 60s. The real key lies in foods that not only feed your muscle, but also heal your metabolism at the same time. Now, let us uncover one of the most overlooked organs in the entire muscle building process, your liver. Most people think muscle is built only in the gym or on the plate, but in reality, muscle health begins in the liver. Here is what's really going on inside your body. The liver acts as the central command center for nutrient distribution. Every bite of protein you eat gets broken down into amino acids, which travel through your bloodstream straight to the liver. There, your liver decides, do these amino acids become muscle or do they get converted into glucose or fat? When your liver is clean and metabolically flexible, it sends a powerful signal to your muscles to start rebuilding. But when it becomes inflamed or sluggish, which often happens after years of processed food, alcohol, or insulin spikes, that signal becomes distorted. The liver starts prioritizing detoxification and glucose control over muscle repair. Think of it like a factory manager who has too many emergencies to handle. The machines that build new muscle parts sit idle, while the staff focuses on cleanup duty. What the research shows is that liver fat, even a small increase, can disrupt amino acid metabolism and blunt the muscle building response. This is why some people lose muscle even when eating enough protein. The amino acids are not being used properly, they are being rerouted. Another crucial player here is IGF-1, or insulin-like growth factor 1, a hormone produced largely by the liver. IGF-1 works alongside growth hormone to stimulate muscle protein synthesis. If your liver is not functioning efficiently, IGF-1 levels drop and your body becomes less anabolic. This is why rejuvenating the liver is not just about detoxification, it is a metabolic strategy for strength, energy, and longevity. When your liver is working optimally, amino acids flow freely into muscle tissue, insulin sensitivity improves, and inflammation decreases, creating the perfect internal environment for rebuilding lean mass. So, when we talk about reversing muscle loss, we must look beyond the biceps and triceps and into the biochemical powerhouse that fuels them, because the liver, quietly working behind the scenes, determines whether your protein becomes strength or simply disappears into storage. If this message resonates with you so far, tap the hype button below and consider subscribing. I share these evidence-based insights every week to help you understand what is really happening inside your body and how to master it naturally. The supplements discussed in this video are tagged below for your convenience. Let us talk about something most people overlook: timing. Because when it comes to reversing muscle loss, after 60, when you eat can be just as important as what you eat. Here's what's really going on inside your body. Muscle protein synthesis does not stay switched on all day. It rises and falls in response to feeding signals. Each time you eat a protein-rich meal, your body activates that muscle-building machinery, but only for a few hours. After that, the signal fades. When older adults eat the majority of their protein late in the day, which is common, they miss multiple opportunities earlier to stimulate muscle repair. The body spends long stretches in a low anabolic state, where breakdown exceeds rebuilding. Over time, that creates a slow but steady decline in lean mass. Think of it like charging your phone. If you only plug it in once a day for a short burst, it never reaches full power. But if you charge it steadily throughout the day, the battery stays strong. Your muscles work the same way. They respond best to regular pulses of amino acids rather than one large serving. Another key aspect of timing involves your circadian rhythm. your internal biological clock. Protein metabolism is more efficient earlier in the day when cortisol levels help mobilize nutrients and the digestive system is primed. Eating your largest protein meal within the first half of the day leverages this natural rhythm, improving absorption and utilization. Research on older adults has shown that spacing protein intake evenly across 3 meals instead of concentrating it in one leads to significantly higher total muscle protein synthesis, even without increasing overall calories. And timing does not only apply to meals, the synchronization between eating and movement matters too. When you move your body before a meal, even light resistance activity like squats or brisk walking, your muscle fibers become more insulin sensitive. They are ready to pull amino acids in, like a dry sponge ready to soak up water. This synergy between timing, movement, and metabolism can transform the way your body handles protein. The message here is simple but powerful. Aging muscles do not just need more protein, they need better timed protein. So if you have been eating the right foods but still feel your strength slipping, the problem may not be quantity, it may be timing. By aligning your meals with your body's rhythm, you reignite the muscle-building signal that time alone cannot silence. Let us now address one of the most silent saboteurs of muscle health after 60, inflammation and cortisol. Here is what's really going on inside your body. Every time you experience chronic stress, emotional, metabolic, or physical, your adrenal glands release cortisol, the body's main stress hormone. In small bursts, cortisol helps you wake up, burn fat, and manage energy. But when it stays elevated for too long, it becomes catabolic, meaning it breaks down muscle tissue to release amino acids for quick energy. At the same time, low-grade inflammation acts like a background fire. Cytokines released by immune cells interfere with muscle protein synthesis, blunting the effects of amino acids and hormones like insulin and IGF-1. Over months and years, this combination of chronic cortisol and inflammation accelerates muscle loss, even if you are eating perfectly. Think of it this way, cortisol and inflammation are like rust on the engine. You can pour in the best fuel, protein, vitamins, exercise, but the engine will never run smoothly until the rust is removed. Now here's what the research shows. Older adults with higher markers of inflammation like C-reactive protein tend to have lower muscle strength and mass regardless of their diet or physical activity. Chronic stress and poor sleep amplify this effect, lowering growth hormone and testosterone, both critical for muscle maintenance. But here is the key insight. Inflammation and cortisol are not isolated problems. They are signals that your body's recovery system is out of sync. Fix the rhythm, the sleep, the breathing, the calm, and those signals naturally subside. A calm nervous system activates the parasympathetic state, the body's rest and repair mode, which directly supports protein synthesis and tissue recovery. This is why restful sleep and even short daily relaxation practices are not luxuries, they are anabolic tools. When your body spends more time in repair mode, insulin sensitivity improves, cortisol stabilizes, and the muscle-building pathways stay open. This is the quiet foundation of longevity, building muscle, not through force, but through harmony. So while nutrition and movement remain vital, they cannot do their job if the body is locked in a stress state. Lower the internal noise and your physiology will finally listen to the message you are trying to send to rebuild. If this message resonates, tap the hype button below and consider subscribing. I share these science-driven insights each week to help you master your body's natural systems and rebuild strength from the inside out. The supplements mentioned in this video are tagged for your convenience. Now that we have uncovered the real barriers to rebuilding muscle after 60 anabolic resistance, liver sluggishness, poor timing, and chronic inflammation, let us reveal the surprising truth. The most powerful muscle-preserving food is not animal-based. It is plant-based, and it beats eggs in multiple ways. Here is what is really going on inside your body. Your muscles do not recognize where protein comes from. They respond to amino acids, especially leucine, arginine, and glutamine. These amino acids act like switches, turning on the muscle building. The challenge with aging is that your body becomes less sensitive to these signals. That means the quality and combination of amino acids matter more than ever. Recent nutritional research has identified fermented soy, lupin beans, lentils, and chickpeas as highly effective in stimulating muscle protein synthesis in older adults. When fermented, these foods become easier to digest, richer in bioavailable amino acids, and packed with natural compounds that calm inflammation and enhance gut health. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Imagine eggs as a steady campfire. They provide warmth but burn slowly. Now imagine fermented soy or lentils as a clean burning furnace, more heat, less smoke, and more efficient energy conversion. Both give you protein, but one delivers it in a form your aging metabolism can actually use. These plant proteins also come with hidden advantages. They contain antioxidants that protect your muscle cells from oxidative stress, the microscopic damage that accumulates over decades. They also improve the gut-liver axis, meaning they help your gut bacteria and liver work in sync to process nutrients and remove toxins efficiently. And because these foods are naturally rich in magnesium, potassium, and phytonutrients, they lower inflammation and enhance mitochondrial efficiency, the very engines responsible for turning amino acids into muscle tissue. Here's what the science confirms. Older adults who consume diets higher in plant-based proteins, when matched for total protein intake, have equal or greater muscle strength and better metabolic markers than those relying solely on animal proteins. The reason lies not just in the amino acids, but in the anti-inflammatory synergy of the plants themselves. So, when we talk about reversing muscle loss naturally, the path forward is not only about hitting a protein target, it is about choosing proteins that work with your body's changing metabolism, not against it. Fermented plant proteins do exactly that. They nourish the gut, support the liver, enhance insulin sensitivity, and send a clear anabolic signal to your muscles. In simple terms, they tell your body it is time to rebuild, not just survive. This is the evolution of nutrition for healthy aging, moving from isolated nutrients to intelligent foods that communicate with your cells. Because after 60, every meal is either sending your body a message to grow stronger or to keep shrinking. The right protein, plant-based, anti-inflammatory, and bioavailable makes all the difference. So let us bring everything together. After 60, your body does not lose its ability to build muscle. It simply loses sensitivity to the old signals that once made it easy. The problem is not age itself. It is metabolic resistance, a slowdown in communication between your hormones, liver, and muscles. We have learned that eggs, though nutritious, are not always the most efficient muscle-building food for older adults. The liver is the true command center determining whether amino acids become muscle or get stored as fat. Protein timing and distribution throughout the day reignite muscle synthesis far more effectively than one large meal. Chronic stress, inflammation, and elevated cortisol silently erode lean mass even when diet and exercise are on point. And most importantly, certain plant-based proteins, particularly fermented soy, lentils, and lupin beans, outperform eggs in stimulating muscle protein synthesis while also improving gut and liver function. What the research shows is that when you fix these deeper metabolic systems, muscle loss does not just slow, it reverses because your body is still intelligent, it is still adaptive, it just needs the right environment to rebuild. Let me leave you with a powerful truth. Muscle is not just about strength, it is your metabolic armor. It protects your blood sugar, your balance, your brain, and your longevity. Every ounce of muscle you regain gives you back vitality, confidence, and energy to live the life you want, not the one aging dictates. So do not accept weakness as inevitable. Reignite your metabolism. Choose proteins that heal as they nourish. And remember, your body listens to what you do consistently, not what you do occasionally. Try just one change today. Maybe it is adding a serving of lentils or fermented soy in place of eggs, or spreading your protein more evenly through the day. Then watch how your energy, posture, and strength begin to shift. because once your body feels that signal again, it responds fast. If this video added value, tap the hype button below and subscribe to join others transforming their health naturally. Every week, we share science-based strategies to help you optimize your metabolism, strengthen your body, and extend your vitality, the way nature intended.